On Friday, January 17th, Greenbelt suffered a really major loss when 3 intruders broke into a family home and fatally stabbed Billy Smith, who's a father of 3 and a much-loved local sports coach.
Yeah, and I think Greenbelt is still in shock. I think it's hard to talk to a person who didn't know him. He was, an incredible fixture with the Boys and Girls Club. He coached football and basketball. And as you say, a husband and a father of 3, and yes, a beloved and an important part of our community. And so, yeah, the police, it's an active investigation, according to the police. I checked with them just today, so we can stay on top of it. They are saying that they're not treating this like a random act of violence.
And that makes it pretty curious, yeah.
Yeah. So on the good side, at this point in Greenbelt, you still don't have to worry that somebody's going to break down your door and do you harm. Right. But yeah, targeted. Yeah. So we're not speculating. We're waiting for the police. We are doing, if you know the family, do what you can to help them. And yeah.
And I think the city and everyone who had kids involved with them, a lot of people came out on a Sunday night to Spring Hill Lake.
That's right.
To remember.
Yes, it happened so fast, and yeah, we were not, the news review wasn't there, but we've talked to people who were there. His parents-in-law, his parents, it was a real outpouring. I think Greenbelt will be in mourning for a while. So.
Agreed. The Psi Epsilon Omega sorority remembered Dr. Martin Luther King with the day of service.
Yeah, they did. And you'll see that article is right next to the Billy Smith one, because, there's bad stuff in the world, but there's also hope in the world. And that even, so after Dr. King was shot. But out of that has grown a movement for doing service. And so this year, the local chapter, and by local it's Greenbelt, Laurel, and Bowie chapter of that sorority, had an event at Roosevelt High School, and there were Roosevelt students involved, and they were basically putting together care packages, or I call them care packages, things with healthy food and various, personal hygiene items, soaps and so forth, that they would give to people who need them.
And clothing. So bravo for them for doing that.
Yes. And one other thing, also on that day, Public Works hosted an opportunity for people to do service, but out in nature. There were several trees down by the lake. They regularly work their way. They wrap them with chicken wire, or with some sort of sturdy wire to protect them from beavers, and I suppose from deer as well. So just preserving trees. It's another act of service.
Exactly. Let's move on to City Council met in work session with Roosevelt Center merchants, to discuss ways to enhance business.
Yeah, that to enhance business, and also simply sort of an oversight role. So, look, some government is, well, I don't want to say boring, but just routine. And there are a lot of meetings that the council has, are called mostly these work sessions, where they meet with various groups. And sometimes it's just things are going fine, or this is happening. And government, our elected officials, have a job to do. To perform oversight, and then some of these entities we fund, or provide money to, or space. So yeah, they just talked about that. Everything from glad that the Christmas lights stayed up longer, because that adds sort of a festive winter atmosphere. Everything from that level to things that the co-op is trying to do to improve business. I mentioned that starting in February, you'll be able to order online and then go to the store and pick it up, for one example. the New Deal Cafe is celebrating their 25th anniversary, and so they reported on that. They have financial issues, but they are still around, as they remind us, and are moving forward, and so they reported as well. The credit union, the new manager there, reported on that. So, it was sort of a report.
One of the things that I liked where Jay Davis mentioned that you wanted to keep the lights on through Valentine's Day. I really think they should be on all the time because it brightens the place up.
There are communities around here. Go over to Alexandria, Virginia, and the trees up and down their main street, down King Street, they are lit with lights, and it adds a certain thing. So,
it does. It says, hey, we're here and we're ready for business.
and this is a bright place to be, even in the evening, and it's a fun place to be. It's festive. So, yeah, I agree.
It dresses it up a lot.
Yeah.
Finally, let's talk about Greenbelt resident Amelia Moore, who is training to qualify for the U.S. Olympic women's boxing team.
Yeah, how about that? A Greenbelt resident wants to be on the boxing team, and last Olympics in Rio, apparently she almost made it, but there was an injury or something.
Yeah, she fell ill, and it sounded like she was exhausted. Whatever this illness was, knocked her out for 8 months.
That's right, and so she wasn't able to qualify. But she had gotten to the point where she felt it was likely she could, and so now she is pursuing that again. She's in intensive training. It's an inspiring story. She even carries around a ball jar, a mason jar of pancake mix.
Right.
Yeah, and so she whips up, sort of like home away from home, whips up pancakes, for herself and her teammates.
And the way she describes her workouts, she goes, well, we work out 6 days a week, but I don't. I work out 7 days a week. So she does. The description, hard worker, seems like it doesn't really do justice to just how hard she really works.
Yeah, I agree. And so I'm hoping we'll see more stories about her. We wish her all the best, and it'll be a great day when the News Review can report that one of our own is on the Olympic team, and we'll see.
So, and it sounds like we will know by January 31st whether or not she's got a berth on the team. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Great.
So, anyway, can I mention one other item before we finish up? And that's the library.
Yes. Yay!
Yay! Finally, it's open now. Well, I'll be able to get the sequel to the thing I started at Christmas. Been waiting. I know a lot of people have been going to other branches.
And it's darn inconvenient and just not as good.
And it's nice. One thing I want to mention: you might be shocked when you walk in the door and see that the shelves are considerably lower than they were before, and you think, gosh, what happened to all the books? Do I have as many books? The library assures us the same amount of books, the same linear feet of books, and that the shelves before, though they were tall, nobody could reach the upper shelves. They were hardly used. And so what this does, you still have the same number of books, but it opens up the space, makes it feel more inviting and more open.
And it being closed for that while really taught me to appreciate what a great treasure we have that we could just either walk to or a very, very short drive to.
Absolutely. Right.
Thanks for bringing us up to speed on events here in Greenbelt this week.
Glad to.